Kids and cadets, welcome back to Tommy Time. Appreciate you coming back out. Saturday update. I knew things were going to start to happen. Guy had messaged me about a mower. He said he wanted to see what I had. I says, do you have one to trade in? He says, I have a running Honda, but the rear wheels are in need of change out. So I figured, well, he could do that. He doesn't need to trade that in. So I says, come on out and look and see what I have. So he came out, he brought the Honda with him, actually. And I thought, well, why is he bringing the Honda? So here's the Honda. So he said the rear wheels are slicks, and they are slicks. So I says, oh, you could just buy these online. I'm guessing maybe 30 each, maybe 50 or 60 for the pair. And he says, oh, could you do it? And I thought, wow, this guy can't even put 2 new wheels on. I guess some people are like that. Maybe he doesn't know how to turn the thermostat up in the summertime. I'm not sure. But I thought 99% of the general population could turn a wrench if they needed to, but apparently not. So he says, let me see what you have for self-propelled. He wanted a self-propelled, so I showed him. And I says, well, since I'm going to fix this one, I'm just going to give you a loaner. So I gave him a Turo recycler with a Kohler engine. I just put 2 front drive wheels on it last week. It was the last thing I fixed. So I says, here. And then he tried to give me money for payment on the wheels. And I said, we'll settle up when the wheels come in, probably a couple weeks. So in the meantime, scrapper in my neighborhood pulled up and waited patiently in his truck for me to deal with this guy. So I loaded up my Toro in his car. He said he was just using regular ethanol fuel. So I filled the Turo tank with Wawa non-ethanol. He says, no, you don't have to do that. And I told him, yeah, you should be using non-ethanol. So the deal with this thing is, he said he had the blades changed, or the blades were changed. So I don't know if he did it. If he can change blades, he should have been able to put 2 wheels on it. So he says, oh, they discontinued the Honda mowers. I said, yeah, this year, but there's still plenty of parts available. You can get any part you want for this machine. They're just not producing new mowers. So we got new mowers to discuss. Remind me, I'm going to buy a pallet of returned mowers. I thought about it a couple years ago. Okay, the oil's dead on. When you check these Hondas, you pull the dipstick out and let it rest on the tube. You don't screw it back down again, and then you take your reading, and this is dead on. So this happens to be, looks like a 2013. Guy asked me a ton of questions. Maybe he had a management position. The fuel valve is on here. The filter looks good. Pretty new filter. So I just found something here that might explain a few things, and I'll point it out. He said his backyard has a big slope and he needed self-propelled. I said, when's the last time you cut the grass? He said, 3 days ago. So he's taken a pen here and marked 1, 2, 3. 3 for the wheels, then he's pointing 2. This is 3. So I wonder if that's a crutch of some sort. He's got 3 over here. I don't see the 1. That's a little different. So let me show you what the neighborhood scrapper brought in. I'll take the HRR 2169 Victor Kilo Alpha model number in and get a couple of wheels for him, put them on. I said, I'll just charge you for the wheels and a couple of bucks to install. And then he gives me my Turo back. Let's see, he said blades. I wouldn't call those new. Okay, I see some pine needles, so he's cutting some rough stuff with this, and I see some blade damage. These aren't new. Let me try to prop this up on my knee. I can see some gouging. Oh yeah, big gouging right there and right there. When he said new, I thought these things were going to be shiny. This has been hacking and slashing. So he came with his wife. We put this on the ground, and the wife lifted this up and was going to take all that out. I said, no, just leave it there. So I got to get rid of the nest. Where's Clucky? I got to give Clucky something to do. So enough screwing with the Honda. It's time to look at this. So I rolled it off his trailer. I says, how's it going? He says, not good. He always tells me not good. I says, why? He says, not a lot of metal out this week. So that might make some sense. People were preparing, getting sandbags, getting food, etc., etc. Monday through Wednesday. Storm hit Thursday. I says, maybe you'll get some metal like appliances. He said, yeah, that siesta key was flooded. I said, I saw that. Maybe you'll have some appliances out there. He says, I can't get on the island because they're taking driver's license. If you don't live there, you're not getting on the island. So I'm sure him and all his scrapper buddies have the same idea. People are going to be putting all the flooded appliances to the street like they did for Debbie. They showed pictures of people putting couches out, anything that got water damaged, beds, stoves. Okay, so where should we start on this? Let me figure out what year it is. 2020. So I gave 40 for it. Like I said, we unloaded. I looked at it. It pulled. It had a blade. I says, how does 40 sound? And he said, that's okay. Whatever I tell him, he says, that's okay. So I upped it. I figured 40 if I come up with a bag, which I know I will. This will be 160 or 70 with the bag. So I wanted to give him a little bit of a bonus since he's not had a good week. So this is what this looks like. So I think maintenance is something right away that was neglecting. This thing's pretty caked up. M100, your basic pusher. Oh, so no bag. I'm sorry. I didn't realize it was the M100. 100's the basic one. It's just a fixed rear end, so I screwed myself on that one, but not badly. This will still be 140, 150, so I'll make $100. Let's look at fuel, and right away I can see through this that it's multicolored pull up on the liquid. Okay, that's a little cleaner right there, but the first pull up was really cloudy. So let me show you that. So I got to start doing some cleanup. My son's going to visit, but I don't think he's going to help. He's just going to say, hey. Looks like Delta's leaving. See the water level down there with debris, so I'm guessing this is going to fire off and then stall. Maybe on its own, but probably with a shot of nitro. So that's that. We're looking at some shitty fuel, neglect on maintenance. This is probably the original filter from 2020. See, stored outside, you got all this dirt and leaves on it, so this thing was not taken care of. More tree debris, leaves, a small branch. So let's try pulling this thing over just on its own. I'll prime it. So as it stands, just looking at it, I don't think 40 was bad. It'll shine up. Lawrence Carroll will be proud of me when this thing shines up. It just needs some attention. See, the safety brake is dragging a little bit. I got to grease that up. Okay, a little bit of backfire, and it kicked something out the side. Must have had some debris down on the underside here. So we got better response than I thought with the water in the tank. Kind of choked and puked. Let me bring you down. Blade looks like it's had 4 years of use. Maybe that's what the blade was hitting. So flat. Still some lift on the back side, but flat there. Really, really flat. I always come along with a 10 and tighten all these up. These come loose. You could see the big gap there. This one's loose. And then I come along here and do these 6. Sometimes you got to move the wheel, adjust the wheel back so you get access to the 10s there. That's part of my maintenance routine. I'll give you the model number of the Crafty, and then I'll give you the engine number. Let's try to start this thing again, see if it coughs and pukes. I'm not going to do the carb clean right now. I got all this stuff to cut up. Either put it in my barrels or it's going to be bagged up with string. 40 pounds or less, under 4 feet. I don't want to strain the garbage crew. Well, that was a humdinger. I didn't think it was going to do that. What do you think? It was suffocating. And then I end up pulling a lot of water out of the tank to give it a head start. So my $40 value seems to be working out. He didn't say it ran. Usually he says, yeah, it runs. He didn't say anything, so I figured it was a non-runner. But he got $40 anyway. Oil looks super clean. Let me see if it's at the right level. It's low. It's at the low mark. But not bad as far as use. Maybe it's been changed. I'll still go through the carb, probably hold this one off, tag it for my son, clean carburetor. I'll touch up the blade, get a nice edge on that, maybe find a side chute for it to make it a 2-in-1 mulch side discharge. So I think we're looking good for 40. I'm not discouraged at all. It's nice to get a runner for $40. Tire tread looks great. Yeah, I'm still just above the low mark on the oil. So I'll add. There's no need to change what's in there. It looked pretty clean. And I'll degrease it, like I said, give it that Lawrence Carroll shine. Let me grab a cloth rag, see what this thing's gonna turn out as. So haven't heard from any other scrappers. Maybe I will later today. If I do, I'll give you a Sunday update. Okay, that's with just wiping the dirt away. Let me get a little water. There's plenty of puddles around. Let me grab some water and just do a little clean with some water. Why don't I get these deals in May when the season's just starting and it's hot to trot? Yeah, that's going to turn out really well. Yep, it's only 4 years old, 2020, so it should have some nice gloss to the paint. Yeah, we'll look good on that thing. It's still cloudy, but not rainy. So even with the cloudy conditions, it's still showing a shine there. Okay. I'm going to go get that Honda model number, go order them today, Saturday. Hopefully, whoever I order them from can get them out of the warehouse. This afternoon, I'll just have to store the 3-in-1 Honda twin blade Advantage mower until those wheels come in. So anyway, maybe I'll reach out to him and see if he wants the oil changed on the Honda and the blade sharpened. Or maybe I'll just do it and include it in the wheel price. Anywho, that's the update. If you want to email snakier eye. It's Tommy time at Yahoo. I really appreciate hearing from you guys what you're working on. How's the weather? How's your third cousin doing? All that jazz. So you can email me, send me pictures of your latest projects as well. Okay, Saturday update. Just keeping the motivation going with some 50+9. I gotta get the electric saw out, start cutting up this stuff. I don't want these garbage men to go away empty-handed this coming week. I'm sure they're going to be quite busy with all the branches down. Adios, amigos. Tip your waitress and waitstaff. Thank you.